In the gate. And they're off. She's Splendid came out smoothly enough. Here's Amelia Blue and Putt for Dough, and those two go on with it now. Auditory is fourth, just outside the heavy favorite. Then Leopardess, who was half a step slow out of the gate. If You Ain't First, Your Last races in between horses. At the rail, God's Favor is 6 lengths off the dueling leaders and 2 in front of Sparkles Sweetly. Around the first turn, and Putt for Dough leads by about a length. Amelia Blue taken in hand second. It's a gap of 4 to the perfect trip for She's Splendid third. Then Auditory and Leopardess side by side. God's Favor, If You Ain't First, You're Last, and Sparkles Sweetly. They're covered by a dozen, heading to the half-mile pole. Putt for Dough kept honest by Amelia Bleu, who's within a half length now in second, still 5 back to She's Splendid, reserve third. Then Auditory and Leopardess right together, a length back to God's Favor. If You Ain't First, You're Last, and nothing yet from Sparkles Sweetly. Putt for Dough, Amelia Blue ahead away. 4 lengths back. She's Splendid, not called on yet, getting closer, however, and outside of her, Leopardess. Now, She's Splendid is let loose at the quarter pole and comes right after the top pair, swallowing them up with 3/16 to go. In the meantime, Auditory's had a good trip and comes through to take second. They're inside the 8th pole. She's Splendid. Auditory now clearly second. Leopardess, Putt for Dough, God's Favor outside. If You Ain't First, You're Last. It's She's Splendid. She's Splendid, the odds-on winner. Auditory completes the exacta. If You Ain't First, You're Last. Finish third. Photo for fourth between God's Favor and Leopardess. And they're off. Atomic Drop is sent out for the lead. Soul of Midnight, Kingmeister, Impossible Task, who was not quick out of the gate, is now rushing quickly through along the inside to vie for the lead. In the meantime, Zimba Warrior 4 wide and 3 lengths off the pace, followed by Eno Slaughter racing 5 in front of Kingmeister, and Nolde will do his best running later on. They swing on to the backstretch, and it is Atomic Drop maintaining the lead, has it a length and a half. He's off the rail. Impossible Task is down on the inside, and Zimbo Warrior in the clear with Soul of Midnight between those two. A gap of 7 back to Eno Slaughter, 6 clear of Kingmeister and Nolde. They have a half-mile left to go, and it's the favorite Atomic Drop in charge. Has it by almost 3 lengths over Soul of Midnight, who's ahead in front of Zimba Warrior. Impossible Task has lost some ground, fourth, 4 lengths off them. Then it's a big gap. Kingmeister is inching up inside Eno Slaughter and Nolde. Approaching the quarter pole, Atomic Drop and Asa Espinoza in front by 2. Zimba Warrior set down, closing the gap a bit in second. At the rail, Impossible Task not done yet. He's trying to fight back. And from the back, Kingmeister making headway inside Soul of Midnight. Final furlong, Atomic Drop comes up empty. Zimba Warrior, Impossible Task are now 1-2. It's Zimba Warrior and Edwin Maldonado clear by 4 and running strongly to victory. Zimba Warrior wins it easily. Impossible Task, Kingmeister, and Atomic Drop. And they're off. Current Affair is sprinting out and establishing the pace at once. Sophisticate wasn't quick out of the gate, is down on the inside. Interplay in the middle, and Miss Wendy Sue as they amble by us for the first time. It will be Current Affair, leading by a length over Interplay, with Sophisticate on the inside, third, just in front of Miss Wendy Sue. They have a little more than a lap to go, a little less than a lap to go, in fact, and it is Current Affair in front by a half length. Interplay second. Sophisticate hugs the rail in third, comfortably placed 3 lengths off the pacemaker, and Miss Wendy Sue has 4 to make up. They swing on to the backstretch, and it is Current Affair left alone on the front end. Interplay a clear-cut second, Sophisticate still third, and Miss Wendy Sue. Heading to the half-mile pole, Current Affair, a length and a half in front of Interplay. Sophisticate will bide her time along the inside, and Miss Wendy Sue gets a little bit of a nudge at the back of the field. Current Affair, the controlling speed, tries to sprint away now, has it by 2 lengths. Interplay set down in second. Sophisticate now gets a little bit of a nudge, and here she comes. Sophisticate clearly into second, simply has to get to Current Affair, who's had it all her own way. Current Affair sprints for home, 3-length lead. Sophisticate, heavily favored to close that gap, still has 2.5 to make up, and Current Affair is not slowing down. Current Affair passes the 16th pole. Sophisticate's really rolling now, and the drama's over. Sophisticate will get home at 1-9, 2 for Hector Berrios. Current Affair, a good second. Miss Wendy Sue was third. There has been a celebration of life at Clocker's Corner today for Eddie Truman, and today's 4th race named in his memory. Goes in. And they're off. Very clean start. Constant Conflict is going to the front. Last Baby has some early speed. Cowboy Kisses comes away in third. Alphabetical Order at the rail in fourth. Then Pineapple Juice racing inside Blue Silver, and another 2 to Idiot's Gold, who trails. It's the favorite Constant Conflict in command. Has it by 3 lengths heading toward the 3/8 pole. Last Baby on the outside, sharing second with Cowboy Kisses. Another 2 to Alphabetical Order. They're followed at the rail by Blue Silver. Idiot's Gold is next, and Pineapple Juice is tailed off. Approaching the quarter pole in Constant Conflict, the controlling speed. Alphabetical Order takes up the chase on the inside of Cowboy Kisses. Wider than them is Idiot's Gold. In the center of the track, Blue Silver and Last Baby. A final furlong for Constant Conflict, 2-length lead. Idiot's Gold is really finishing nicely now, and Idiot's Gold cutting into the margin of Constant Conflict. Constant Conflict, 3-length lead close to home, and it will be Constant Conflict to give Edwin Maldonado a double. Idiot's Gold was second, Alphabetical Order, and Blue Silver. In the gate. And they're off. Blame the Classic broke inward, and the Ohm of the Brave got bumped, but recovers and takes the lead. And the Ohm of the Brave straight to the lead. Out in the center here is Invest a Lot coming to engage in second. Blame the Classic third, and Brazenly in a great spot fourth, 5 lengths off the lead. Then Moogie Sun 3 deep outside of Fowler Blue. Big George is just inside of that pair, leaving Cousin Richie at the back of the field. The pace is lively, and Invest a Lot clears off, sprints away, has it by 4 lengths suddenly over And the Ohm of the Brave. A gap of 6, then back to Blame the Classic in third, and Brazenly is racing in the 4th spot. Moogie Sun is just outside of that pair, followed by Big George, Fowler Blue, and Cousin Richie. Down the backstretch, Invest a Lot has a half dozen or more, make it 8 lengths in front now. As Brazenly makes his move early, Moogie Sun follows him on the outside into third. At the rail, And the Ohm of the Brave is in fourth. Then comes Fowler Blue in the blue. Big George is down at the rail, and Blame the Classic in between that pair, leaving Cousin Richie as the trailer still. The lead of Invest a Lot down to 2 lengths midway on the far turn, but he's still in front. In second is Brazenly, Moogie Sun. And the Ohm of the Brave has lost some ground on the inside. Fowler Blue swings into action, widest of all. They're at the top of the stretch, and Invest-A-Lot digging in, brazenly a length and a half away second. Here's Cousin Richie and Fowler Blue from well out of it. A 16th to go. Invest-A-Lot clinging to the lead. Fowler Blue on the outside's coming though, and Fowler Blue's got him. Fowler Blue runs down Invest-A-Lot. Then it was Brazenly and Cousin Richie. They're in the gate. And they're off. Toulouse de Track and Shop Till You Drop are the first two out of the gate. Perfect in Gray moves through along the inside, and Fly of Fantasy is up close too, fourth and 3 lengths off the lead. Then Max's Maxine, Misty Puppet, outside of them Sabres and Crypto Crush. Toulouse de Track shakes loose, opens up almost 5 lengths now on Shop Till You Drop and Fly of Fantasy, who race together as a team. Then it's Perfect in Gray, followed by Misty Muppet, who's more than a dozen lengths off this loose leader, followed by Sabres, Max and Maxine, and a 3-wide Crypto Crush. Diego Herrera and Toulouse de Track trying to run away. They're in front by 9. Shop Till You Drop second, Fly a Fantasy losing ground, followed by Misty Muppet. They're at the top of the stretch. Toulouse de Track still with a commanding lead. Shop Till You Drop is by herself in second. Misty Muppet rallying belatedly on the outside. A 16th to go. Toulouse de Track's lead shrinking, but she's gone. Toulouse de Track wave goodbye right out of the gate. Takes them coast to coast. Shop Till You Drop second. Misty Muppet was third, and then Sabres. And they're off. Shieldfleet began smoothly. Magale has some speed, but here's Amarita intent on getting to the front, and she'll do just that, striding away, and she is flying along on the front end. Amarita opens up 6 lengths already. Shieldfleet will wisely sit off that tempo in second. Then comes Magale in the lime colors third, followed by Super Speed fourth, and Resolve is at the back of the field. It's Tiago Pereira and Amarita saying, catch me if you can, and they've built up an 8-length lead. Shieldfleet second by the same margin. Then it's Magale, Super Speed, and Resolve. Heading toward the half-mile pole. Amarita loose. The lead is about 8. Shieldfleet second. Now just 4 back to the next flight, headed by Super Speed, making a bit of headway. Resolve inching up on the outside of Magale. Around the far turn, Amarita's lead shrinking with every stride. Shieldfleet has dead aim if good enough. Another 2.5 to Super Speed in third. Resolve and Magale, they're covered by 4 lengths with a 1/4 mile to go. Amarita, Shieldfleet, Super Speed revs up on the outside. Super Speed on the outside, and Shieldfleet go by Amarita at the 8th pole. Resolve has room, 1 from the rail. Final furlong, Super Speed and Resolve are now 1-2. Super Speed striding out, and it will be Super Speed and Armando Ayuso to get the money. Resolve second, Shieldfleet third. Loaded quickly, and they're off. Even start. 'Cause I'm Perfect is the first one out of the gate, joined by the gray Frog, and Frog takes over. Surf Song is up close. Maysamel on the inside is next, and Mad Pursuit racing in between horses. It's a gap of 4 to Delightful Laura, who is by herself at the back of the field. Frog goes to the half-mile pole, but Maysam guided off the rail and is under a very strong hold alongside second. Then Mad Pursuit in the three-path third, and Surf Song widest of all. 4 more, 'Cause I'm Perfect loses ground, and 2 more behind that to Delightful Laura. They have 3/8 of a mile to go, and Masom is let loose now. Inhaling Frog coming to the 5/16 pole, and Masom puts about a length on them. Surf Song moves up to take second, and in behind them, Mad Pursuit now third. They pass the quarter pole and turn for home. Masom in charge, widens to be in front by 3. Surf Song on the outside, battling for second, and down at the rail, it is Mad Pursuit trying hard in third. But it's lights out on the front end. Mason, daughter of Game Winner, cruises home to victory. Mason reports home almost 6 lengths in front. Surf Song's second best. Mad Pursuit was third. Blister in the Sun. And they're off. Blister in the Sun is very fast away from the gate, running super. Day Dawning is not far behind, and neither is Mucho Magical, one from the outside, moving up now and tugging pretty hard to take second. Here's Guitar Girl now in fourth. They're followed by Day Dawning, who was much closer earlier, now 7 lengths off the lead. Above all else is down at the rail. Then Irish Rose racing inside, burning at midnight, and Rich of Joy is at the back of the field, well clear of Matters. They move into the far turn. It's Mucho Magical and Blister in the Sun dueling into the far turn, with Guitar Girl in third, running super on the outside fourth. Day Dawning, 5 off the pace in fifth. Followed at the rail by Above All Else, Rich of Joy trying to make headway between horses, while Irish Rose with the yellow sleeves will swing widest of all. They are at the top of the stretch, and it's a wide open scramble. Running super on the outside is looking for the lead. Rich of Joy finding a very narrow seam, as is Guitar Girl on the inside. Day Dawning and Irish Rose. What a wild finish. Rich of Joy or Irish Rose. Irish Rose and Rich of Joy in a very, very close photo. Behind them, Day Dawning finished third in front of Running Super and Guitar Girl.
It is a huge day of racing at our sister track, Gulfstream Park, with, of course, the Pegasus World Cup being the 13th and final race. They've already run 6 races back there on the East Coast, but don't fall asleep on Sanita. You know what? Yesterday was a perfect example, kind of a sleepy day. Did you know that there was one ticket in the Pick 6 yesterday? It paid $36,000. Guess how much the ticket was purchased for? $64 at an Indian casino down in the San Diego County area. Congratulations to that lucky and skilled ticket holder. You never know at the races where a big score might happen, and of course that happened yesterday for that individual. A person who never gets any sleep. As a matter of fact, he's been up since 3:45 a.m. this morning working. That's tradition. He does it every single day of every single year. His name, Toby Turrell. Toby, happy Saturday. Welcome to the seminar.
Great to be here, Tom.
It's great to have you here. Busy morning. Let me just ask you off the top of your head, any horses of note work this morning here at the Great Race Plates?
Well, we had 230 horses.
Wow.
Busy day, a lot to choose from.
Trying to beat the inclement weather.
That's what way it appears. Now, I guess out of all 230, the horse that stole the show, the cat's already out of the bag, basically. And sadly for me, you talk about sleeping, I took a little nap opening day and let this horse get home at $60 or $70, and her name is Copion.
From the Richard Mandela barn.
And, you know, I watched her down at Del Mar all fall, and I couldn't get over how magnificent her frame and scope. Got to be maybe the biggest horse in all of training here. And when you get a horse like that, it takes a while to get him into a peak shape, if you will. And the horse turned the corner in the last 2 was working giant. I just couldn't pull the trigger, but don't worry about it.
She came out of the race great, came out of the La Brea great, hitting on all cylinders.
She looks magnificent right now, and I'm really excited to watch her come back and do it again.
Toby, I mentioned the big day at Gulfstream Park. Let's focus on the last 2 races. Race number 12 at Gulfstream Park is the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. The reason I want to take a look at these 2 races before we go to break is there's a number of Southern California horses that are entered in both of these races. Let's start in race number 12 at Gulfstream Park with number 2, Formidable Man, who of course won the Hollywood Derby at Del Mar on closing weekend. Have you seen him train out of that effort? And what do you think of him going into Gulfstream Park?
Yeah, his workouts aren't going to move the needle at all for his performance today. They're just maintenance works. He's already fit. The same could be said for Mark Glatt's horse, Mi Hermano Ramon. Another maintenance, just pure maintenance works. They're just to keep the horse, keep their mind on running. So workout-wise, it just comes down to whether you like those horses or not. Now, there is a horse in here from our home base, and that's number 9. Balnikov for Phil D'Amato. And to tell you what, this horse is training lights out. So if you like this horse, the workouts give you a little extra push. And the 15-1 morning line going in has to be a little bit enticing.
Don't fall asleep on that one, Toby. Let your eyes be the judge. Let's turn the page and go to race number 13, the marquee race, not only at Gulfstream Park today, but also anywhere in the country. It's a $3 million Pegasus World Cup Invitational. On the rail is number 1, Mixto, who is the winner of the Pacific Classic. Have you seen him train in the mornings leading up to today?
Yes, kind of the same story. They're maintenance, even type of workouts. You know, shout out to my dad at 82 years young. I called him up out of nowhere a couple of months ago. He said, I got to go. White Abarrio is getting ready to make his comeback race. And that's how alert and sharp he is on top of everything still. And that's the beauty of this game. It will keep you young. White Abarrio, the rest is history as far as I'm concerned. Look at his record at Gulfstream Park. Now the horse has proven he can come from behind. What I love is the fact that when he won the Big Breeders' Cup Classic here, he had that huge high cruising speed and was able to pass the horses when it counted in the stretch. So he's got it all from a tactic standpoint. I went to my XBTV last-minute camera work. Love the way he looks coming into the race. So I really like White Abarrio in here.
We need to complete the exactas or the trifectas. Do you think Stronghold is going to put forth a good performance today?
Stronghold's a very genuine horse, always shows up, training well, so big number there too.
And what about Mystic Danny? Was so disappointing in the Malibu. I was a little bit surprised, as you might have been as well, that they would go on and run in the Pegasus World Cup. Can you find any visible excuse why he performed so poorly in the Malibu, Toby?
I don't think anybody can. He was so far out of the race. He just never put his feet down on the track. And, he wasn't cranked up going into that race. His blowout over the track here was really, he was just idling. The big question is, could he have possibly cranked up between then and now? That's the question. Robbie Alvarado getting a little headlines and press by popping off a little bit.
Talk.
Yeah, saying this horse will win. So we'll throw that in the mix.
And there's two bullet works since that last performance here at San Anita, both over the main track at Gulfstream Park. So certainly looks like he's doing well. Toby, a couple of nights ago we saw the Eclipse Awards, and Torpedo Anna, of course, won Horse of the Year. Flavian Pratt was Jockey of the Year. Any disagreement with either one of those awards?
I don't think you can really disagree with that. I mean, they were tops. I mean, you couldn't make a strong case for anybody, I think, but them. So no, I'd go along with it.
Southern California was well represented with 3 Eclipse Award winners, but personally, I thought there should have been a 4th one, which was Johannes from the Timyak Teen Barn. The voting was close. The winner got 89 votes. Johannes got 82. I thought his body of work throughout the entire year was more impressive than just the winner's performance in the Breeders' Cup.
You have to appreciate that, but the adage that seems to have the most teeth to it is the Breeders' Cup is king when it comes to the final vote, and I guess that's what happened there.
Toby Turrell is our king for the next 30 minutes. He's going to take a look at today's 10-race card here at Santa Anita. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place, where the track is fast and the turf course is firm. Here are the early changes on today's program. In the first race, scratch number 1, Waltz Across Texas. First race starts the early pick 5. In race 2, early pick 4 begins. No changes. Turning to the third race, number 3, Coastal Cowgirl, will carry 1 pound over. We have a middle pick 4, beginning with race 4. No changes. In the fifth, start of the $2 pick 6 and the $3 all-turf pick 3. There are no program changes. Race 6, number 6, Drinks at the Club, will carry 1 pound over. Scratch number 8, Lucky Lad. Race 6, take out the 8, the late pick 5. Starts with race 6. In the 7th, scratch number 1, Smooth Salute. Scratch 2, New York Dreams. Scratch 8, Every Day is Saturday. And scratch number 11, Bronco Nagurski. 1, 2, 8, and 11 are out. 8th race, the Grade 2 San Pasqual Stakes. Starts the late pick 3, just the 1 blinker note in the San Pasqual. The 9th race is the beginning of the $5 late double. Scratch number 1, Fighting Ring. Scratch number 11, Crone Zone. And in the 10th race, super high 5 wagering is offered, and there are no program changes. We do have the coast-to-coast pick 5 Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays now here and at Gulfstream Park and throughout the country, where you try to pick the winners of races from Gulfstream and Santa Anita. It starts with Gulfstream's 11th race at 1:20 Pacific, a little over 2 hours to the start of the coast-to-coast pick 5. There have been extraordinary payouts, including yesterday, on this low 15% takeout $1 minimum wager. They'll be at the gate for race 1 in 58 minutes at 12 noon. At this time, we go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest has been picking winners for decades. And you can find his work at CaseTheRace.com. Winners win. Toby Turrell will give you a lot of winners if you stay tuned to the seminar.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Toby Turrell. He's one of the most prominent and esteemed clockers anywhere in the nation. He calls Southern California home. You can find his work, as you just heard Frank Miramati say, by picking up his sheet every day, either at the racetrack or at any of the OTBs. It's called the winner's card or the yellow sheet. Or if you're not in the local area, you can also find it online at the website called casetherace.com. But today, you're going to get all of his selections for free because he's my seminar guest. So let's kick things off here, Toby. In race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5, we're on the turf course. The rails today are at 10 feet, and we're sprinting in race number 1, 6.5 furlongs in the flat turf course for maiden special weight Calbred 3-year-old filly. Scratch the 1, Waltz Across Texas, leaves us with a field of 7. The original morning line favorite was number 6, America's Mark, who was 5-2 according to Jeff Siegel. However, the current betting choice at 6-5 is on the bottom. Number 8, Odie's Memory Lane from the Doug O'Neill barn, currently 6-5 on the board. Blinkers off. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, I want to watch the last race that Odie's Memory Lane ran in. That was back on December 29th. It was the nightcap. The winner actually came back to win the Cal Cup Oaks. And in this replay that we're about to watch, not only does Odie's Memory Lane perform in it, but also number 2, and Joy also competes. The gates we're going to watch here, or the saddle cloths we're going to watch, are both saddle cloths number 8 for Odie's Memory Lane and saddle cloth number 10 for and Joy. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action back on December 29th and watch the runners breaking from gates 8 and 10.
And they're off. Very awkward start for Take Another Card, who's far back early. It's a quick beginning for We the Hobby. We the Hobby is vying for the early lead through the opening stages. Right up alongside is Odie's Memory Lane. Those two are head and head down the back stretch. It's a gap of 3. Sassafran gets a good spot tracking those two. 4 more lengths. Take Another Card is trying to rush into contention after that rough beginning. And Omen Joy is next, racing 3 lengths in front of Lady Mendelssohn. Hula Prancer right next to that rival. A gap of 4 to the 2 trailers, Big Whoosh and Magakai at the back of a very strung out field. It's We the Hobby and Odie's Memory Lane. 2.5 more back to Sassafran, and Take Another Card on the outside moves into third. Take Another Card has made steady headway, angles out at the top of the stretch, coming after We the Hobby. We the Hobby, Take Another Card. What a huge effort from Take Another Card. Handwritten, gets a little crack and puts away We the Hobby and Sassafran along with Odie's Memory Lane. It will be Take Another Card in an eye-catching W. Second to We the Hobby. Third.
Toby, it's always a pleasure to listen to track announcer Frank Miramati describe a race, because he knew when he was calling the race that Take Another Card was a special filly. That was her debut. After overcoming a slow start, she won impressively, and as I mentioned, she came back in her next start to win the Cal Cup Oaks. However, Odie's Memory Lane showed speed then kind of faded, but today adds Lasix, also takes the blinkers off. Almond Joy, who we saw close late for third, gets an extra half furlong to deal with. Who do you like in race 1 and why?
Yeah, well, I think, first of all, the key there, blinkers off, Lasix today. But this filly was hooked on the lead, Odie's Memory Lane, and that was off of a big layoff. So she was not settled. She was kind of fresh and rank, and on the turf, very rarely can you overcome that and hold on. So today she's outside. It'll, I believe, be a much softer pace. She's trained very well, and that's the deciding factor for me on top of all of that. The 2-horse Almond Joy just going to come from the clouds again. There's no speed here, but has the best closing kick with the extra furlong. If that all equalizes out the right way, perhaps this horse could get up and tag the 8. So I'm going to go 8 and 2 to kick it off.
Race number 2, we are sprinting 6 furlongs, but this time on the main track for fillies and mares at starter optional claiming types. Also, race 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We've got a field of 6. Number 3, Wishes to Riches, who has a big last race by her speed figure, is the 8-5 morning line favorite with the Bug Boy in the saddle. Talk to us about race 2, Toby.
Well, the 1-horse, this filly, someone like you, to me, is a good upset candidate. Look first off at the fact that she has never run on dirt. And when I realized that is when I really started to get excited about this selection, because she is a dirt filly to me through and through in her physique. Big, strong-bodied filly. I think she's going to move up on the dirt. She gets the class relief today, dropping. But look at the last work. It speaks for itself. It's a bullet 47 flat. On its own merit, that's nice, but it's even nicer when she came the last quarter, and 23-1 for that workout. So I think it's all systems go here for the one, hopefully to cause the upset over that filly you just mentioned, Wishes to Riches, who will be the horse to beat. Shop Till You Drop came back and ran a nice second here yesterday, validates the last race for that horse. 1-3 in race number 2.
Race number 3, we continue sprinting on the main track, 6.5 furlongs of the distance for maiden special weights. We've got a field of 7. Number 4, Santorina is the 8-5 morning line favorite. Also take note, number 5 is a first-time gelding. 7 ways you can go here, Toby. Which way are you going?
I'm going with the 4-horse Santorina. For Mark Glad. I go all the way back with this gelding, back to his debut effort. He got stone cold left at the gate, and the horse that won the race wound up being a stakes horse of Lejos. Went back and ran huge at Churchill Downs. Ever since that debut effort, things just did not go this horse's way. I don't think he's a turf horse, so you can take that angle. But the key here is there is not a lot of speed in this race. This should be, in my estimation, by far and away his best trip that he's ever had in his career. And if that's the case with how good he's already run, I think he should be the winner. Number 7, Extensive, is an interesting X factor for Michael McCarthy. The Los Alamitos race, I think, was just schooling, routing, cutting back, and has worked well enough to be a live candidate, and should also be out near the pace today, I would think. So 4 and 7 in race number 3.
On paper, race number 4 looks like it's a very talented field of maiden special weight 3-year-olds competing, going 6.5 furlongs on the main track. Also on a 10-race card like today, Sandy offers a 50-cent middle pick 4 kicking off in race number 4. We've got a field of 7. Number 3, Father Ted, the second-time starter from the Mark Glatt barn, is 8-5 according to Jeff Siegel. However, Toby, you wanted to show a workout for one of the first-time starters. That would be for the horse on the rail, number 1, Varney, from the Bob Baffert barn. This workout goes way back to December 6th. It was a team gate drill. So let's take a look at xbtv.com and watch Varney on the inside break from the gate and tell us why you wanted to show this work.
Well, first off, this was like the horse's first workout over the racetrack. And normally you don't show this kind of brilliance right off the Los Alamitos van to the track here at Santa Anita. Now, the interesting thing here is the way this horse finishes on top of the speed that he's showing here. Running head and head, I'm just figuring he'll kind of stay steady. First workout over the track, he's already kind of going at a brisk clip here. He starts to pull away from the company, and this is when I really started to get really interested in this horse. And with each passing eighth of a mile past that those opening stages, I really liked what I saw in the finish of this horse.
He just looks happy, right? I mean, my description would be he just looks happy doing what he's doing. And not only, like you said, Toby, is he happy, but he's also doing it in a brilliantly fast time.
Well, and all those things combined makes this potentially now, I was excited about this horse. Now, look at him galloping out all the way 6 furlongs here. This was a brilliant type of work. Now, the problem is he disappeared after this work for a few weeks and had a little setback, and he's been playing a little catch-up ever since then. But if you want to go back to the big-time positives, Maysam, who needs no introduction after yesterday, this was his workmate, and they were pretty much all square head and head. So he's got all the credentials. The sire of Vekoma is one of the up-and-coming stallions we have in the whole game right now.
Had a winner at Gulfstream Park earlier this morning.
There you go, right up to the moment. Real time, real TV here. And so anyway, Hector Barrios in the saddle, breaking from the rail. The 4-horse Modus Bastia, another solid horse. First-time starter for Richard Baltus. They paid $500,000 for this horse, and for good reason. He's a big, strong-bodied, good-looking colt. Done nothing wrong. He's beaten his company routinely in the morning, so I like him too, but I just like the one horse hopefully better today. 1-4 in race 4.
Race number 5, we're back on the turf course sprinting. 6 furlongs in the flat turf course. It's an allowance optional claiming race for non-winners of one other than. Also, race 5 commences 2 wagers, the $2 pick 6 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3 with a low 15% takeout. We've got a field of 9. Noble Reflection, a very talented turf sprinter, is the 8-5 Maury Line favorite. He'll break from post position number 4. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, you wanted to watch a training track drill for a 30-1 bomb in here. That would be number 5, Santo Dios from the Marcelo Polanco barn. Here he is in action. Tell us why you wanted to show this.
Well, first off, you really have to take note of the final time here, the 58-2, because that's what was the swaying factor in making this hopefully a very eye-catching, meaningful workout. He is a big, strong, strapping horse, and he has just got a very nice rhythm and stride here. At that kind of cruising speed, I believe he's a one-turn horse at heart, which is kind of where he was in Argentina. This workout, believe me, he has been eye-catching 4 or 5 times in workouts on top of this. Strictly a question of him being ready off of the layoff and good enough, obviously, to win. But at this price, with Hector Berrios on the turf, we'll certainly give this horse a shot to pull off the shocker. Irish Royalty is a very genuine horse in his own right. He's got, I think, a sharp little half mile. Shows that he's on edge and ready to run his winning race. He's got the right tactics. He knows how to pass horses in the stretch, tuck in, and win turf races. So 5 and 6 for me in race 5.
A couple additional questions for you, Toby, in race number 5. Specifically, first question would be number 7, Into It, an East Coast invader who's run out here a few times as well. Now second off the brief layoff for trainer Dickie Dretro, 15-1 with Edwin Maldonado in the saddle. Have you seen any of his workouts since his last race on opening day here?
Yeah, I really liked his gate workout quite a bit, and his little 51 flat is actually very solid. This is where I start to really take serious notes today because I think there's a lot of speed and pace in this race. I think this horse might be a victim of that. If that weren't the case, I'd really like him even a lot more, but very solid horse coming in a solid manner.
And the other question would be drawn more toward the inside. Number 2, Zeus's War. The reason why I want to ask you about him is this is the first time he's going on the turf, and this is an open race where most of the runners are Southern California runners. This is a Northern California runner trained by a very sharp horseman that I respect, Tim McCann. The fact that he's putting this horse in here tells me that he thinks the horse is doing well. He's just 4-1 on the Maury line, but I just have a feeling, looking at his buyer speed figures and knowing what the trainer knows in terms of his capabilities, he might be a horse that the betting public overlooks. Have you seen him train at all in the morning?
He's got what I call those maintenance type of work since the last race here against Bartholdi. Very genuine, very game, hard-running horse. And who knows? We'll see. I don't know that he'll move up on the turf, but I guess we'll find out today.
2 races back, he lost to Clovis Connection, who's one of the best sprinters up in Northern California. Unfortunately for Clovis Connection, he came down here, ran against Big City Lights, and was basically dusted by that horse. But there's no Big City Lights or Clovis Connections in race number 5. 2 additional horses in addition to what Toby gave you to consider in a wide open race number 5. Toby, race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. Again, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. This is a starter optional claiming race. 1 scratch the 8, Lucky Lad. Leaves us with a field of 10. The Maury Line favorite, Halo Rando from the Red Hot Dean Pedersen barn, is 8-5 on the Maury Line. Really good race here. Who do you like and why?
Yeah, well, I mean, Dean Pedersen been really dominant with these races and these powerhouse owners that are now down here. The Williams. So the last race speaks for itself. The key is he came out of the race very well. That's, again, proven by a bullet. 47 flat workout there on the 20th. All was good. And I'm just going to go right back here and make it hopefully look as easy as it looks. Last time, the 9-horse chased this horse. Last time, Horse Doctor chased Gamely was never a threat. But if this horse gets hooked in some kind of speed duel or something, maybe that'll allow Horse Doctor to have that needed improvement. in the stretch finish.
And Toby, I want to give a shout out to one of the sharpest jockey agents anywhere in the country, and that would be Jose Santos Jr. Jose Santos Jr., the son of former jockey Jose Santos, has a number of jockeys around the country. He's capitalizing on using technology, and he's one sharp cookie. And he knew today most of the colony, the jockey colony, would either be at Oaklawn Park or at Gulfstream Park. So what does he do? He ships in one of his jockeys who loves riding in Southern California, Raylu Gutierrez. And look, as we continue through the card, you'll see Raylu on a number of live horses. Congratulations, at least on the surface, to Jose Santos Jr. He does an exceptional job. Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. Once again, sprinting on the turf course, 6 furlongs of the distance. $25,000 is the claiming tag, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. 4 scratches in this particular race. Take out numbers 1, 2, 8, and 11. 1, 2, 8, and 11 are all declared out of the race. There are 2 first-time geldings as well. Number 7, Yogi Boy, is a first-time gelding, as is number 10, Sir Lucas. The aforementioned Yogi Boy, coming back in off a layoff, is the lukewarm 3-1 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 7, Toby.
Yeah, number 7, one of the gelded horses you're talking about. Yogi Boy, I think this is a great spot for this horse to come back. His last work, he was really full of run. Trained by a really good friend of mine, Mike Pipey, always pulling for him. Great to see a great start for his barn at the new meet. And this is a nice spot to return in. I think he's a one-turn horse at heart. I think that's kind of key here. And I think the competition is even more key. I'm not really seeing anything jump off the page. I think the 3, Tis a Good Thing, will be my second choice just on that recency that he has shown in the last race over the turf.
Toby, a question for you for number 5, Naismith, in race number 7. Second off the layoff for trainer Bob Hess. We were talking about hot barns. Bob Hess has also gotten off to a good start here. He's got every right to improve. Showed speed on the comeback, comes back at the same level. Have you seen him train that one workout since the last race?
Yeah, he always seems to show speed in the morning and in the afternoon. So pace will make the race as far as he goes. Good to see Kent DeSormo. He rode a winner for Bob Hess last weekend, and it was a dandy. Sweet hello. And hopefully Kent was on a bunch of horses today in the morning. He'll be in the saddle here on this horse. But again, he needs a little bit easier pace than maybe I think he's going to get today, but certainly a fit.
Race number 8 is the feature race on today's card. It's the Grade 2 San Pasquale, going a mile and an eighth, on the main track. Race 8 also begins the $3 late pick 3 with a low 15% takeout. We've got a good field of 7, including number 5, Imagination, from the Bob Baffert barn. 8-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, let's watch another workout. This is a little bit in the dark. Imagination, exactly 1 week ago today, last Saturday, January 18th. It's a team drill, and Imagination is on the outside. You can see the horse that he's working with is a well-known newly turned 3-year-old by the name of Citizen Bull. They both work very well here. Why'd you want to show this workout?
Well, you talked about those Eclipse Awards, and Citizen Bull now has one. And he is still in great shape. In fact, he worked 59 flat today for Baffert. I've been around Bob for years, not so much anymore, but early on. And I've watched him pull this simulation, if you want to call it that. He won't let the older horse pass the younger horse for many reasons. It's a great strategy. This horse on the outside, you can see the rider is not moving. He is not going to go by this horse, but I believe he could have if he wanted to, but there's no need to. This horse is dead fit. He's been galloping out tremendously, and it seems like week after week, and he is just in tip-top shape for this race here today. Speaking of jockeys getting an opportunity, Diego Herrera gets the shot here. I don't ever remember him riding for Baffert.
Neither does the Daily Racing Form. If you look at the statistics, at least for the last 2 years, Diego Herrera has not ridden for the Baffert barn. You got to assume he's going to be riding like today as the Kentucky Derby now that he has a foot in the Baffert barn. And congratulations to both Diego and his agent, Nick Casada. Imagination, Toby, is going sprint to route. That was a tough race in the Malibu. He finished a really good third. Like you said, it's really just a question of what type of price you want to take on Imagination.
Indeed. And if you don't want to take that short price, the horse right next to him, American Admiral, I think offers you that price you might be looking for. You've already mentioned the jockey getting on live horses here. Raylu Gutierrez. This is a 7-year-old that's going to have a future, I believe, and it might start today. Last time out, he ran a very eye-catching, kind of a buried race, if you will, buried on the rail, about 7 wide, and I think he had horse at the end of that stake here on opening day, the Lafitte Pinkai Jr. He was training huge into that race. Lots of reasons to think he can spring an upset, the 6-horse American Admiral.
Race number 9 begins the $5 late daily double, also with a reduced 15% takeout. And we continue the sprint theme on today's card. Sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track for maiden claimers. $20,000 is the claiming tag. 2 declarations out of this race. The inside and the outside. Number 1, Fighting Ring, and number 11, Crone Zone. Both will not compete. Truehead coming back off a long layoff for trainer Bob Baffert, with that guy Raylu Gutierrez is in the saddle at a morning line of 5 to do. Very talented son of Nyquist, or at least that's what the expectations were. Now you can have him for $20,000 after the connections bought him for a lot more than that at auction. How's he training into this race, Toby?
Let's just say good enough. He's a 5-year-old now, so that probably weighs into a lot too, dropping him in. With the horses Baffert has here in training right now, I got to tell you, he almost has to move them along.
They need room in the barn, right?
Oh, boy, is he loaded. Anyway, as far as today goes, this horse hopefully gets that confidence today to run away from this field. I can't see anybody except for maybe the 7-horse Silver and Black, who has worked out well, has run well. And there's Kent DeSormo riding for his longtime pal, Bob Hess Jr. 6-1 is not a bad price here. And like you said, the barn red hot right now. So 3 and 7. In race number 9.
We close out a good 10-race card in race number 10, offering $1 super high five wagering. And we're back on the turf course. 1 1/8 is the distance for fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. A good field of 10. Number 6, Kentucky Gal from the Phil D'Amato barn, the invader from overseas, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. What say you about race 10, Toby?
Well, this is my time to shine as far as giving that gigantic plug to the race DRF formulator.
Our favorite handicapping friend.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
what did we do without it beforehand, Toby? We were in the dark.
Lagging notebooks around, never having time to even look up the races. Just what a game changer.
It's so beautiful. I can't even describe it.
Oh, yeah. And here's a horse number 2 strutting. That ran a giant race at Del Mar locally in the local debut, this filly. She got beat by Sarija, who went on and aired again right here at Santa Anita, and I believe she was much best. You can all watch the tape and decide for yourself. But this horse had a very slow start, was out of the race. And when I see a horse make 2 moves in the interior like this filly did, it gets me excited. She galloped out strongly. So if this is the filly that shows up today and gets a better trip, I think 9-2 is an excellent value on her. Obviously, you throw the last race right out the door, the American Oaks. And as far as my second choice goes, another bomb, the 3-horse Control Function. This mare has some really nice workouts, but she's done that before. She's what we call a bit of a morning glory, but she is in great shape, and she's capable. If you go back to some of her older races, if she gets the right pace to perhaps track and get the first run, she could be dangerous at a giant price. So nice finale here. Nice betting race to finish off the card.
2 and 3 in race number 10. Toby's top choice, number 2, Strutting, sired by Frankel, one of the world's most prolific sires. As if we didn't have enough action both at Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita, let's combine the two and come up with what we call the $1 coast-to-coast pick 5. It's a great sequence today. As you can see, both races 12 and 13 are the races we spoke about earlier at Gulfstream Park. The Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational would be race 12. Race 13 is the actual Pegasus World Cup Cup race itself on the main track and throw in a few other races, both from Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita. And lo and behold, you got the $1 coast-to-coast pick 5 wager with a low 15% takeout, as Frank Miramati mentioned during the changes. Yesterday's coast-to-coast pick 5 paid in excess of $15,000. Toby, always love shooting the breeze with you for 35 minutes, finding out who you like on today's card. Thanks so much for your time and insight. We'll do it again real soon.
Right on.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you have a great afternoon. Keep in mind, live racing resumes here tomorrow, Sunday, noon post time with another 10 races. Until then, have a great afternoon, everybody, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place, where the track is fast and the turf is firm. Track conditions brought to you by John Deere. Here are the changes. Nothing new to report. In the first, start of the early pick 5, scratch 1, waltz across Texas. In the second race, early pick 4 wagering offered, no changes. Race 3, number 3, Coastal Cowgirl, 1 pound over. The fourth race offers middle pick 4 wagering. No changes in the fourth. In the fifth race, pick 6 begins, and the all-turf pick 3 as well. No changes in race 5. Race 6, number 6, Drinks at the Club, 1 pound over. Scratch number 8, Lucky Lad. In the seventh race, scratch 1, Smooth Salute. Scratch 2, New York Dreams. Scratch 8, Every Day is Saturday. And scratch 11, Bronco Nagurski. 1, 2, 8, and 11 are out of the 7th. Late pick 4 begins with 7th. The 8th is the Grade 2 San Pasqual Stakes. Just the blinker note, start of the late pick 3. $5 late double starts with the 9th. Scratch 1, Fighting Ring. And scratch number 11, Crone Zone. 1 and 11 out of the 9th. And in the 10th race, super high 5 wagering offered. There are no changes. The Coast to Coast pick 5 is offered again on Saturdays and Sundays. We also have one coming up this Friday. Today's starts with Gulfstream's 11th great races on the Coast to Coast pick 5 today. Enjoy the very popular California Wine Festival today and tomorrow. A variety of California wineries represented on the track apron. Post time for the first race is in 26 minutes at 12 noon. Enjoy your afternoon at Santa Anita Park.